Okay, so we're talking about accidents that actually worked. Where do we even start? The light bulb?
Much more recent, actually, and much messier. It all starts with a melted chocolate bar in 1945 inside a high-tech laboratory used for military radar.
Wait, a radar lab. What does a chocolate bar have to do with detecting enemy planes?
Everything. Engineer Percy Spencer was standing next to a magnetron, a tube that powers radar, when he noticed his snack had turned into a gooey, liquid mess in his pocket.
That sounds incredibly messy, but I'm guessing he didn't just walk away to get a napkin.
He was fascinated. He realized those invisible microwaves were vibrating the water molecules in the food, generating instant heat from the inside out.
So he basically discovered a way to cook food using invisible waves by accident.
Exactly. To prove it, he brought in a bag of corn kernels and held them near the machine. Within seconds, the world's first microwave popcorn was popping all over the lab.
That is absolutely wild. It's crazy to think a weapon of war became the reason I can heat up pizza in 2 minutes.
Completely true. The first commercial version, the Radar Range, was actually 6 feet tall and weighed 750 pounds.
Okay, so radar gave us the microwave. What about something softer? Like, I don't know, toys?
You're closer than you think. Believe it or not, one of the most famous toys in history started as a tool to scrub dirty houses.
A cleaning product? What was it, like a special sponge or something?
Not quite. Back in the 1930s, homes were heated with coal, which left thick, oily black soot all over the wallpaper.
That sounds like a total mess. How did they even get that off without ruining the paper?
They used a sticky, dough-like compound that could roll over the walls and lift the dirt away without using any water.
So, how did a wallpaper rubber become a global sensation for kids?
By the 1950s, coal heating was gone, and the company was failing, until a nursery school teacher noticed kids using the leftover dough to make art projects.
Wait, so they just realized it was more fun to play with than to clean with?
Exactly. They removed the cleaning chemicals, added bright colors and that signature scent, and Play-Doh was born.
Okay, so we went from radar to wallpaper cleaner. What's next? A failed rocket fuel.
Not quite, but it was meant for the aerospace industry. In 1968, a scientist named Spencer Silver was trying to develop a super strong adhesive for building planes.
I'm guessing it didn't turn out very super if we're talking about it now?
Exactly. Instead, he accidentally created a glue that was actually quite weak. It could stick to surfaces, but you could peel it off easily without leaving a single mark.
That sounds like a total disaster for an airplane. Why didn't he just throw the formula away?
Because he was certain it was a unique invention, even though for 5 years, no one could figure out what to do with glue that doesn't stay stuck.
So how did it finally end up on every office desk and computer monitor in the world?
It took a colleague named Art Fry, who was frustrated that his bookmarks kept falling out of his choir hymnal, to realize this weak glue was the perfect temporary marker.
That is incredibly clever, using a failed invention to solve a completely different everyday problem.
Completely true. Today, Post-it notes are an essential multi-billion-dollar product, all because of a glue that simply wasn't strong enough.
So he became a multi-millionaire. Tell me, what's the final accidental masterpiece?
A literal fall from grace. In 1943, naval engineer Richard James was trying to invent a special spring to keep sensitive ship equipment from shaking during storms at sea.
So he was basically building heavy-duty military hardware for the Navy?
Exactly. But one day, he accidentally knocked a prototype spring off a high shelf, and instead of just hitting the floor and stopping, it started walking.
Wait, what do you mean by walking? Like it just moved on its own?
No way. It somersaulted from the shelf to a stack of books, then to the floor, and kept moving perfectly upright as if it had a mind of its own.
I'm guessing he didn't just pick it up and put it back on the shelf?
He was mesmerized. He went home to his wife and told her, "I think I can make a toy out of this."
That is so wild. So a high-tech naval tool became the world's most famous spring toy?
Completely true. They named it the Slinky, and it sold out its first 400 units in just 90 minutes, proving that even a mistake can find its own rhythm.